Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I'm here to set up my January budget in my budget binder. So I have this new kit which will be coming to the shop either the end of December or the beginning of January, I'm not sure yet. Also, I'm sorry if you hear noise in the background, my little ones are at home today and it's the only time I can film. Don't ask. So I have my budget kit and I have my pen and I have my budget binder and we are setting up January. So I have my monthly here with any notes at the side. So it's our Barclays final payment, so I have to remember that, and we don't have any payment for our snake insurance. We've actually cancelled our snake insurance. There was nothing wrong with the company or anything like that. We've just decided not to have that particular insurance. So I have my calendar with our pay dates stuck in. And then these are note pages. So I have moved a couple of the pages from how it did look. And then I've just got blank dot grid note pages from the Happy Planner. I'm going to take those out. So I'm going to set up my first page. My first page, which is like a cover page, I guess. I use the coordinating washi strip, which is in the washi strip a la carte. I think it's the second washi strip, and I like to stick this about halfway. I like to stick this just a little bit further down the page. And then, oh, it just fitted. Whew. And then so these are some new stickers as well. This is a goals kit. You get 12 of the word goals and you get the 12 months of the year. I like to put my financial goals on the very first page. And I set myself maybe 2 or 3, sometimes up to 5 goals. I just like to do it that way. I like to use the little flags. And it's just to sort of give me some goals for the month, some ideas that I want to do for this month. So for example, this month in January, I would like to spend 120 or less per week on groceries. So our budget is 150, but I am setting myself the goal of spending 120 or less per week on groceries. So that's just sort of how I do my little goals page. And then we flip over, and on this side of the page I do my monthly budget. So I have this budget sheet and the dates. And I'm just going to go ahead and put the stickers down. I will be coming out with these stickers sized for the Erin Condren Monthly Deluxe soon. I have one sitting waiting for me to do it. I just haven't done it yet. It's been a bit hectic this month. So I like to set up my budget fairly far in advance actually. So we're on the 17th of December right now. And that's when I'm setting up like the stickered page, but I actually already have my budget written out. So I do like a rough draft for the month ahead. I've actually done a rough draft for the first quarter, I think. So I have up to, I think I did April as well. Yeah. I've done up to April. So essentially I have 4 months. This is really hard with this plaster on my finger, by the way. Essentially I have 4 months set up at any given time. I just don't do the sticker and the finalizing of the budget until closer to the time. So we have our income there. And I just leave enough lines. Oh. So I don't share our income on here at present. That might change one day, but it won't for just now, because it's not just my budget, it's my husband's as well, and it's just, I don't share our income. for our income sources. But that is for our income. Then I lay out our expense sticker. So this is for all the expenses that come out of our bank account. I call them fixed expenses, but they're not always fixed. So some of them will change in amount during the month, or during the year, sorry. They won't always be the same, but I just leave it as essentially in my head there are fixed expenses. And then I'm just going to put this one down the bottom of the page. I know I've left myself enough space, so I'm not too worried about exact number of lines. Plus there's nothing going underneath here, so I don't need to worry about making sure there's enough room for anything else. So that's our total sticker. And then I have our remaining. That totals one is a little bit squint. And then I just take my ruler and I draw the lines. I used to draw the lines exactly on the dot grid, like the dots followed the dots, but I've actually found it works out better this way if I go just over the dots. Which gives me a little bit more room, I feel like, anyway. So I'm going to do all my stickers and then I'm going to fill everything out. So my next page, I finished that sheet. My next page is variable. And these are all of our personal cash envelopes and our sinking funds and our debt payments. I include them in variable even though they're fixed debt expenses. I consider them variable expenses. I don't know why, it's just my personal preference. So this is our variable section. And I'm going to go ahead and stick down the headers for everything, and I'll probably speed this a little bit up because it's just me counting the lines to make sure I have enough. So I'll be right back. Okay, the other side of my variable sheet is my debt tracker and my transactions page. So I'm going to use this sheet. Okay, and then I'm going to go over to our next page, which is my sinking funds page. And I set this one up with my sinking funds opening and closing at the top, but then I have a sinking funds transaction sheet. I like saving and sinking funds, I really do, but the whole point of them is that they're there to be used for the things that you're saving for. Like our pet fund, it's there to be used for pet requirements. So I know there will be transactions because there are always transactions in... Oh, I've just ripped it. There will always be transactions of varying things for lots of different reasons. My poor sticker. I will probably print another one of those at some point. These are all completely matte removable. They're printed on matte removable, so I can take that up and replace it. But yeah, so while I appreciate savings and sinking funds, I also appreciate being able to use them for the things that they're for. Stops us using our main bank account or our other income or anything like that. And I just think it works better. That is what they're there for after all. So then I use this thin washi strip that's included in this page. Okay, the next side of this page and the start of the next page are my weekly check-ins, which I have this sheet and also a smaller sheet to go over onto the other side. I weekly check in all of my categories. I can't join them together. I tried it, it doesn't work. So this way I do need the 2 pages for it. Okay, this side is my bonus income page. This is for any income that is out with our usual payments. So things like Etsy or AdSense, or if I sell anything on Facebook Marketplace, or my Scentsy income, because these are all totally dependent upon performance. Like, I don't always, like, I might not get a lot of Etsy orders one week, I might get loads the next, and the same with Scentsy. I might not have any orders some month, so I don't get any income from it. But this way I only estimate, I don't use it as part of our main budget, so I'm not reliant upon it for our actual budgeting. And I normally leave about 6 lines because that gives me a few different categories dependent upon the month, and I don't write them all down either straight away. So come the end of December, I will know if I'll be getting a payment in January for AdSense, things like that. And then underneath I do expenses, which are the expenses from what I've taken out of this. So for example, I include all of my Etsy income, and then expenses, I have a little line for business expenses. Or I'll have a line for like this month I had a line for Christmas extras and things like that. And if we're putting any extra towards debt, that'll come off here as well. So some things that I might know, I'll know by the end of the month, I'll know for definite if I'm going to get paid from Scentsy and from AdSense. So I can budget those. So I will budget them at the end of December, but I don't budget them just now. Okay, and then on this page has business transactions. And this is for anything relating to Etsy or my YouTube channel. So if I have to buy sticker paper or printer ink or anything like that, it comes off here in a list. And I also put income in here. I do it slightly weird, I think. I'm not sure if it would work for everybody. But I essentially list anything going through our account that I relate to business. And then at the end of the month, I work out what we've spent bonus income wise, if that makes sense. I could do a video on that actually, explaining that a little bit better, which I will probably try and do at the end of my check-in for January, not for December, but for January. So I don't have just a small amount, I use the whole page for this, so I put my totals down at the bottom of the page. but the intention is that it won't go over this page, essentially. I'm going over the page, I'm spending too much money. Mud that. And then over this side is my cash breakdown. So this is where I will have the breakdown of cash that I need to take out of the bank. This page is last because I really only look at it when I'm budgeting and when I'm going to get my cash out the bank. I don't really look at it again. So it's the very last page because it's not needed after the beginning of the month. I'm not going to put my total sticker down yet because I have to actually do my budget to work out what cash I need from each envelope. So that is how I set up my pages for my month. So I have my goals first, then I have my budget and my variable expenses, then I have my debt tracker, my transactions, I have my sinking fund and the transactions going through the sinking fund, weekly check-in pages, bonus income, business transactions, and then this is my cash breakdown, which I didn't stick the cash breakdown stickers at the top. But there's my cash breakdown. And then I have my little card here that is what I take to the bank to get my cash, and I just leave that in the back like that. These are reusable, so if I decided to use this kit another time, I could use it again, or I could just use it again any month that I wanted to. And that's it. That's how I set up my budget. I am going to fill out my budget, but I will come back to share that with you probably in another video once I have finalized all of my, excuse the dog snoring, I'm sorry, once I've finalized everything. So I will leave a link to my shop down below and to the Happy Planner. If anybody has any questions, please ask them down below, or you can find me on Instagram. I'll put my Instagram name just here. And as always guys, thanks for watching. Bye.